Hello, once more, and welcome back to the 2024 NFL predictions here for week number 8. After I went 1-6 last week, my personal season record is now 21-28. After week 7, going to week 8, we have another 7 games on the schedule to predict. Great, it's a fun matchups this week. Some battles for first place. Some teams that are controlling their own divisions as well, and also some teams that are surprise teams this year as well. Into week 8 as we get into the final stretch of the first half of the season. Here in week 8, let's get it started with the week 8 NFL predictions starting now. As we start out with the Vikings and Rams. The Vikings, after losing to the Lions 31-29 on Sunday, dropped. And the Vikings now coming into this game in second place behind the Lions at 5-1, just like the same record as the Lions have to go into this matchup against the Rams on a short week on a Thursday night coming up in 2 days from today after losing 31-29. And unfortunately, being wrong on that pick, I am so upset about that. But I am okay with that overall. Look at this matchup with the Vikings coming in on a short week and the Rams, who I haven't picked in a while. When was the last time I picked the Rams? I don't know I think the last time I picked a game with the Rams in it. I forget who I picked, but looking at this matchup overall on paper, the Vikings, they're a good team. Sam Darnold's still gonna be the good quarterback he is to decide. After starting 5-0 and losing their first game of the season, I think this game's gonna be interesting for the Vikings for a bounce back week. Unfortunately, I don't think that's gonna happen. I think the Rams and Matthew Stafford will make this game interesting because it's on Thursday night and Vikings coming in on a short week with only 3 days to prepare after losing on Sunday. So I do think the Rams get the win surprisingly here in this one. So give me the Rams here, as I do think the Vikings and Sam Darnold pick up a loss surprisingly in this matchup, unfortunately. So give me the Rams there in this one, starting out Thursday Night Football. Next up, here the Ravens, Lamar Jackson going in against the Cleveland Browns on Sunday. And looking at this matchup, I did pick the Buccaneers over the Ravens last night. Ravens won 41-31, a 10-point margin of victory. But looking at this matchup, Lamar Jackson, he was the quarterback who won the MVP last year. He looks like an MVP again this season. And can he lead this team back to the AFC title game against Kansas City potentially? I think yes. I know the conversation was Bengals and Chiefs AFC title games. Now it's Ravens, Lamar Jackson, and Patrick Mahomes in Kansas City. And looking at this matchup, Ravens are coming in after winning 10 points as a first place team going into Cleveland, who is out without Deshaun Watson out for the year. It's going to be an interesting matchup. I think it's going to be an interesting matchup to see who the Browns started quarterback. And Lamar Jackson and the Ravens, they're going to get this game, and they're going to score a lot of points against whoever the Browns start, because the Browns are not very good this year. They're in the bottom of the division. So I do think the Ravens get the win here and stay in first place on Sunday with a big win. So I'm going to give me the Ravens here in this one on Sunday in Cleveland. Moving on, we have the Philadelphia Eagles. Jalen Hurts, they're going up against the Bengals and Joe Burrow. The Bengals, yes, the Bengals again. First time talking about them in a while. I believe is the first time I'm doing a Bengals pick game this year where I'm picking them. I did pick the Chiefs against them back in week number 2, and I haven't talked about the Bengals since because Joe Burrow and the Bengals, they've had a rough year this year. I did predict the Bengals would be a number 4 seed over Baltimore, and I did think the Ravens would be a number 7 seed way back into the preseason predictions. So far, that prediction's not turning out the best at the moment. We'll see how many of the teams I get correct overall. But looking at this matchup with the Bengals and Eagles, Jalen Hurts, they're coming in as a second place team. They're behind the Washington Commanders, a team that is surprising people. With Jaden Daniels, the Heisman Trophy winner from last year. For the Bengals and Joe Burrow, they're still trying to build and try to get to where Pittsburgh is before they can get to where the Baltimore Ravens and Lamar Jackson are. With that being said, I think these two teams are the interesting matchup. This could potentially be a preview of a future Super Bowl, not this year, but maybe in the next few years. with these two teams if they don't make it to the playoffs this year. But I do think Jalen Hurts and the Eagles will be back in the playoffs this year. For the Bengals, Joe Burrow, it's a question of how healthy Joe Burrow can stay. I do like the Eagles in this one, so I will be picking the Eagles this week over the Bengals. So I'm giving the Eagles here over the Bengals. After the first 3 games, off to Tampa Bay next. This time around, Tampa Bay Buccaneers, Baker Mayfield, after losing 41-31 last night, they're going up against the Atlanta Falcons and Kirk Cousins this week. Looking at the matchup, Kirk Cousins and the Falcons, they're in first place in the NFC South. Buccaneers in second in the NFC South. A team that won the division last year with Baker Mayfield in his first year as a Tampa Bay Buccaneers quarterback. This game's going to be very fun to watch. Should be interesting to see as well. Here in week 8 overall, Tampa Bay, I did predict them to win games. Predict them a few times to win, and they've failed to give me that opportunity to pick them to win. When I pick them to win, they've failed me. With that being said, I think these two teams, this could be a fun game to watch on Sunday. Unfortunately, I'll be working at this time on Sunday while these games are happening. But I do think this game could potentially go to overtime potentially in this matchup with Kirk Cousins, Baker Mayfield, 2 quarterbacks who used to be on teams where they weren't good at all and didn't play well, and now they're playing like they're playoff quarterbacks. With that being said, and looking at this game, I think the Falcons have the best chance, and the Buccaneers and Falcons, both teams are pretty good. I will be taking Tampa Bay, though, after picking them again last week and they lost last night to the Ravens. I do think the Buccaneers bounce back and get a win this week. So give me the Buccaneers over the Falcons on Sunday, playing at home in Tampa. Moving on. This time we're headed out west. We have Josh Allen and the Bills. They're going to Seattle. Bills are first place team. Seahawks currently in second in the NFC West. Look at this matchup behind the 49ers. I'll talk about the 49ers here in a moment or two. Look at this matchup. The Bills, Josh Allen, they're a pretty good team this year. And Seahawks, they're a pretty good team as well. Both Geno Smith, Josh Allen, 2 quarterbacks who play well. Josh Allen always plays well, though, when it comes to playing games for the Bills. For the Seahawks and Geno Smith, the Seahawks, their team, I have some questions about. What are they? How are they? And can they continue to play good football this year? I do think they can do that. After winning against the Falcons 34-14, and I did pick the Falcons the other day, last week, if you saw that NFL prediction video for week 7. And of course, Seahawks, after winning 34-14, they look like they're going to be, they're for real. This team, I think, is pretty good. For the Bills and Seahawks, this matchup, I see another one going down to the wire. I don't think going to overtime just yet in this matchup, but I do think it's a potential preview for a Super Bowl matchup, maybe. There's so many Super Bowl matchups preview that can be previews this season, of course. And with this matchup, I do think the Bills, Josh Allen, going on the road is going to be tough for them, a tough environment. Seattle's always loud with the 12th man, their fans. So with that being said, I will be taking the Seahawks this week, unfortunately, over the Bills and Josh Allen. After the Seahawks won last week big, I think playing at home, the Seahawks are just going to be a little bit better playing at home. And I think they get a big win on Sunday. Moving on. Next one. We have Caleb Williams and the Chicago Bears, a team we haven't talked about much this year. And the Washington Commanders and Jaden Daniels, the Heisman Trophy winner from last year. 2 teams led by rookie quarterbacks. And the storyline for Bears in this one is this. They're in a division where anyone could win in the NFC North. And saying that this late into the first half of the season in week 8, it's hard to believe the Bears are in a division where if the season ended today, all 4 NFC North teams would be in the playoffs. Hard to believe that could happen. That'll be shocking if that does happen. We'll see what happens over the next few weeks. And then for the Washington Commanders, Jaden Daniels, rookie quarterback, he is leading a first-place team. The Washington Commanders, who aren't supposed to be very good, but he is leading them. You know, if everyone remembers C.J. Stroud, the Houston Texans last year, he led a team most of the season last year and got them to the playoffs and won games, meaningful matchups. This Jaden Daniels and the Commanders, this could be another season where we have a young rookie quarterback take a team to the playoffs. Potentially two rookie quarterbacks take their teams to the playoffs, I think. For the Bears, it's going on the road to Washington, where it's going to be very tough environment, tough crowd noise. For the Commanders, playing at home, should be easy to get a win. They won big, 40-7 against the Panthers. With that being said, so I do think it's gonna be fun. I do think it's gonna be an interesting game. I will be watching closely. With that being said, I do like the Commanders in this matchup, playing at home against the Bears. Unfortunately, I do think the Bears get their third loss here on Sunday. Moving on to Sunday Night Football next. Dallas Cowboys, Dak Prescott. San Francisco 49ers, Brock Purdy. Bad news for the 49ers is they lost Brandon Ayuk for the season. And Deebo Samuel is ill at the moment as well. So the question is, how would the 49ers play if they don't have those two? You're going to have to come up with the run games in here without Christian McCaffrey as well. And the 49ers coming off a 28-18 loss to the Kansas City Chiefs. And, after seeing that game on Sunday, it was kind of crazy seeing it happen. The 49ers, they need to work on getting back to where they need to win. But with all the injuries piling up and players were out, Brock Purdy's only going to have George Kittle, who hasn't been able to find a lot, and he's going to have to be the step up playing tight end. And also, they have the Cowboys this week, which is a team they have beaten the last 2 years in the playoffs, surprisingly, which they have done for Brock Purdy and the 49ers. For the Cowboys, Dak Prescott, it's going to be a game going into San Francisco on the road in a night game on a Sunday Night Football, where it's going to be another game where you're playing against a team that has beaten you in the playoffs and a team that has beaten you the last few season, 3 times in the last few years. Overall, it's going to be interesting to see what happens. I do think it's going to be a close game, and with the 49ers injuries piling up, unfortunately, I do see the Cowboys getting a win. Give the 49ers another loss on Sunday. But we will see how that happens. We will see if that actually comes true on Sunday night. With that being said, here's a quick recap. I'm taking starting out Thursday Night Football with the Rams and 49ers. I'm taking Matthew Stafford over Sam Darnold and the Vikings. In Cleveland, I'm taking the Ravens and Lamar Jackson over the Browns. In Cincinnati, I'm taking Jalen Hurts and the Eagles over Joe Burrow and the Bengals. In Tampa Bay, I'm taking Baker Mayfield and the Buccaneers over Kirk Cousins and the Falcons. In Seattle, I'm taking Geno Smith and the Seahawks over the Bills and Josh Allen. In Washington, I'm taking the Commanders and Jaden Daniels over Caleb Williams in the battle of quarterbacks. The Commanders Bears again. And on Sunday Night Football next week, I'm taking Dak Prescott and the Cowboys to win against the banged up 49ers and Brock Purdy. That is the Week 8 NFL predictions. With that being said, hope you all enjoyed. Please remember to watch, like, subscribe. Don't forget to tell friends as well to do the same if they haven't done so yet already. And also don't forget to hit that notification button below so you know when there's a new video on the channel. With that being said, have a good day. Stay safe and peace out. I'll see you right back here next Tuesday, Week 9 predictions. First half of the season is in the books after next week, Week 9. I'll see you then. Bye for now. Stay safe and peace out, everyone. Good day. See ya.